And here I will proudly say I was a governor, which is a head of a subnational government. And so when I talk, those who are not the governors should listen.
Governors come to Senate.
You have to have
governors. You struggle to.
Your Excellency, you have to have that large hand.
Become a senator.
Please go ahead.
Chairman, you cannot exercise power that you don't have.
You don't.
Chairman, I want to thank you, Senate leader, and my colleagues.
That's it.
So are you judging or you are asking me questions?
You are not entitled to interrupt me.
No, you can't use foul language on me. No. I'm a distinguished Nigerian. You can't use foul language on me, please.
Distraction.
Honorable Minister, please, no, excuse me.
How much did you spend last year feeding dogs?
We have 800 per dog per day, and we have 900 dogs. Multiplied by 365.
According to you, you feed that innocent who is presumed innocent with 750 naira a day at 250 naira per meal. And then a dog, you feed the dog with at least 800 naira a day. So a dog is better fed in Nigeria prison than an innocent Nigerian who is held. It's a policy issue, whether it is the intention of government to appropriate more money to feed animals than to feed human beings.
Democracy is not cheap, but we must spend all our resources for democracy. But after you have been elected, what do you do for the people? I do not think with profound respect that INEC needs hospital, private hospital, INEC hospital too in Abuja. You have offices in the 36 states. You mean if INEC officer in Benin is sick, he has to come to Abuja for treatment? What do you have to have in your INEC hospital? Do you have INEC special disease? I don't think so.
So this election of Adams Oshiomole's wonderful performance at the Senate, either at the House of Senate or at Budget Defense or Senate Committee or whatever. So the man has been performing well, despite being a first-time senator. They have rank. This is first time at the House of Senate, and he's performing, excellently. This first video now is him interrogating the Minister of Works, Senator Dave Umahi. And then in the first video you watched, you saw that the man got furious. Said, "Are you judging me? Say you are not, you are not supposed to interrupt."
Because we are, as you said, we shouldn't look at our areas alone. We should look at the country. I share the concern of the chairman about Abuja Kaduna Road. You have no regret in revoking me from the Los. Fine. I am not a director of the Los. I probably will also do the same for our accused. But what I fail to understand is why you award the contract to a new company that is formed by Mecano. Mecano has been known for generator distribution. Mecano, yeah. They own the company.
Mecano.
Yeah, whatever you call it. You have to assume by accent. They have no history of road construction.
No.
So why will you take a job from a reputable company and give it to an unknown company that has no record of having worked anyway? If it did, those working on the road now, we would like to know the name and then the project they have done before over the past 10 years or 20 years in Nigeria. Because it's all about reputation. When I travel through that road, because I'm also a Kaduna man, I could see, you see the tractors. Whether they are working or not is arguable. It's like what I saw when I was a governor. Say, ongoing, I go there, I see a tractor that is not moving. And you see it, all over the place. This Kaduna road is not a miracle, it's not rocket science. Whether it's by concrete or it's by asphalt, as an engineer, sir, you know that the real issue is not the choice between concrete and asphalt. Because if the concrete is also poorly done, specification poorly weak, supervision almost zero, contractor incompetent, the fact that we concrete is not a magic word that delivers quality. I think we should settle on that. And even the failure of our asphalt is not the result of by this asphalt. It is poor specification, sometimes compounded by poor supervision. Because, I mean, we travel around the world. Asphalt is not synonymous with fair roads. No. There are issues that are more complex than that. But actually it meant that this soil will not be used. If it will be used, it will have no consequences. And we are saying this cannot be Mr. President's wish. Because you mention President every other minute. I know the President and I know this is not his wish. We, the National Assembly, carries of board in total the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President. This token is not renewed token of Mr. President. It's a complete betrayal of Mr. President's laudable objective, which the National Assembly has completely keyed into across party lines. That's it.
So are you judging?
So then the second video is where he said that INEC doesn't have special disease. You know, we prioritize rubbish in this country. INEC, how will you make a proposal for a hospital for INEC? INEC doesn't function every month in the whole year. Like over maybe once in every 2 or 3 years, except local government elections. Elections in Nigeria takes place and at one time, except for some state governors that had issued that won court cases, like we have in Imo State, we have in Ekiti State, and the likes. So why should INEC have their own hospital? So he said there is no special disease, so there shouldn't be INEC hospital.
Democracy is not cheap, but we must spend all our resources for democracy. But after you have been elected, what do you do for the people? I do not think with profound respect that INEC needs hospital, private hospital, INEC hospital too in Abuja. You have offices in the 36 states. You mean if INEC officer in Benin is sick, he has to come to Abuja for treatment? Why do you have to have your INEC hospital? Do you have INEC special disease? I don't think so. Because this is an area we can avoid so that you focus on your core mandate. Your core mandate is not medicine. It's not healthcare. That is the mandate of the Ministry of Health. And if INEC people in Abuja needs quality healthcare and you think you are not getting it, we talk to the Minister of Health. But honestly, sir, INEC has to be restricted to its core mandate, namely to conduct free, fair, credible election, not to be running hospital. We don't have that competence. If INEC man has a prostate problem, we are going to have you have a lot of men who are in their 60s or 50s. Are you going to create a urologist? If you have if INEC child has a problem, you are going to have a pediatric doctor. I think these are things. This is great displacement. With due respect under your leadership, let INEC return to its core mandate and not go into the issues of healthcare facility, only to hospitals. The man sitting next to me from Akwa Ibom. He's going to travel from Uyo to Abuja. If INEC president has this, even those in Lagos, you are going to fly from Lagos to Abuja for treatment. Abba. Prof, these are the avoidable ways which you can deal with. I'm talking of general term now. You didn't start it, but if your professor started it, you can terminate it and rechannel the resources to where you need the most. Thank you, sir. I second the motion in total that, as you said,
Then the next one is where he really interrogated these prison officials. You know, how much do you feed a dog became rocket science, became a scientific question that the controller of prisons could not even answer. It was embarrassing to me. The controller of prison could not know how much he's going to feed dogs. And when he finally exposed himself, we found out that dogs feed more, are well fed more than Nigerians. Like he said, innocent Nigerians. You are not guilty until you are convicted or you are proven guilty. So it's a disgrace.
Have the location of those dogs and how much they spend to feed them.
The cost of feeding a dog per day is 800 naira. This is it.
Brother, I just want them to know that we are not going to rubber stamp anything. And if they are not able to give us satisfactory answers to our questions, we will adjourn until they are ready. but we will not stamp because we are in a hurry. Because the taxpayers' money is not acquired in a hurry. People work hard to pay their taxes, for which we are appropriating. If they are going to spend that money for anything, they need to convince us that they know what they are doing. So if they can't tell us the number of dogs they have, the location of those dogs, and how much they spend to feed them, why should we believe their numbers when it comes to 81,000 quote image? So for me, it's about integrity test. Can we trust the figures? No, that we are not convinced about. But at least one thing has come out. And because there were a couple of reasons why we're asking these questions. Not only to test whether you are sure of your own figures, but even to place some weight on what to tell us. One second. One thing that has come out is that a non-convicted Nigerian who is presumed innocent in law, according to you, you feed that innocent who is presumed innocent with 750 naira a day at 250 naira per meal. And then a dog, which may be a Nigerian dog or an imported dog, you feed the dog with at least 800 naira a day. So a dog is better fed in Nigeria prison than an innocent Nigerian who is held in your custody. At least that has come out. This is not your fault, and so don't try to be defensive. Yeah. It just shows the crisis of money. I mean, it's a policy issue, whether it is the intention of government to appropriate more money to feed animals than to feed human beings. And that is a major policy issue for us. It is just that you didn't seem to have done your homework. You should have told us exactly what is it that, in your estimate, from your experience. And when you talk about your experience, remember that we are all in the same market. Only that my co-chair may be going to Dunes to buy his vegetable, and I will go to farmer's market.
No, I go to
after the flies are feasted on it, the prices are a bit. I don't want to mention the farmer's market so they don't I use it against me elsewhere. Okay. But just to say that, we expect you to speak more clearly. That is the only way we can help you, and we're not actually helping you. The intention is to provide some comfort to those people who, for no fault of theirs, most of the time, are detained because of the power of big men and big women who want to teach them a lesson. And because the government is unable to prosecute, they end up spending more time than they would have even done if they were convicted for the offense for which they are detained. So we have a duty to be our brothers' keepers. They are just suspects. And that is why it hurts if indeed this is the way they are treated. Any one of us could end up there.
Yeah.
Because in any case, governors have ended up there. It's only presidents who have not yet ended up there. And who knows? Yeah. A president has actually ended up there, a former head of state. Yes. Has ended up in prison. Maybe you have a way of providing for those, because the one I know can't survive for 750. Since we have even changed the name to correctional. They are meant to correct even convicted people. They are not condemned or condemnation center. They are not to be dehumanized. So there are two or more possibilities. It is either that the prisoners are looking for relations to contribute to feed themselves, or you don't feed them, or you feed them only once, and even at that, very miserable food. Which explains why, other than Mr. well-known Nigeria in prison, the ordinary unknown Nigerian leave the prison completely emaciated, so can never live decent life again, even when they did not commit an offense. We have seen the visuals. So it is not correct to tell us that you feed prisoners 3 times a day with 750. How? and you are listing tomatoes. I bought tomatoes yesterday. You are talking about beans. I bought beans the day before yesterday. You talk about rice. I bought rice last week, and I know the price.
Yes.
It's not only senator that I buy. Even you are buying. Looking at you, you look more better fed than us. Maybe because we are overworked here. So you all know the price of this item. So how can you look us eye to eye and tell us that you feed a man, a Nigerian, awaiting trial or even convicted with 750 naira a day, 3 times? What is the bottle of water? What is the cost? This water. They are entitled not just to water, they are entitled to clean water. This water is not a luxury. We are taking it because we assume it is clean and it doesn't carry waterborne diseases. So they are entitled to clean water. What is the price of water? Clark, how much is this water?
150, sir.
I don't know the meaning of 150.
150.
For this,
One simple one.
No, this is not 500.
eh?
This cannot be 500. This is
500 centiliter or whatever. So out of the 250, 50 naira is 100 naira is.
So that was just it, and so this is where he also insisted that the president should not, pardon somebody who has already been sentenced to death. Marianne Sanda, we know it. She killed her husband, and then she was sentenced to death. So like 2 or 3 years after, late last year, we started hearing that federal government, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has pardoned her, and it brought a ripple effect, and a lot of people were protesting. So after that, I don't really know what's the state of that case right now, whether she's still going to die by hanging, or because some people were saying that she has not been, her sentence has changed, so she's just going to serve 7 more years and she'll be released.
How can an offense that carry death penalty, a judge reduce it to 20 years in prison? That is not acceptable. He has violated the laws passed by the parliament. Number 3, sir, and this will be the last.
Has that happened in Nigeria already?
It has.
That
Somebody convicted of terrorism was sentenced to 20 years in prison. When the law says act of terrorism, if convicted, shall attract death penalty, no judge has a right to pronounce less than that. It is only when you have implemented the law, interpret the law, not the sentiment of a judge, the will of the people as conveyed in a law, then the president can decide if there are reasons for him to do so, whether to commute or to reduce death penalty or terrorism. This parliament is on record as having done that. Mr. President, I am troubled when, after all the efforts that security agencies and the prosecuting authorities have to invest to secure conviction, because unfortunately the state cannot behave like a mob. So you have to prosecute, follow due process. I am troubled by the conflicting judgment by various high court judges. When the law says act of terrorism, if convicted, shall attract death penalty, no judge has a right to pronounce less than that. It is only when you have implemented the law, interpret the law, not the sentiment of a judge, the will of the people as conveyed in a law, then the president can decide if there are reasons for him to do so, whether to commute or to reduce. How can an offense that carry death penalty, a judge reduce it to 20 years in prison? That is not acceptable. He has violated the laws passed by the parliament. Number 3, sir, and this will be the last.
Has that happened in Nigeria already?
It has.
That
somebody convicted of terrorism was sentenced to 20 years in prison.
No.
Can I be allowed to land?
The civil senator, you have,
Mr. President, that is the leader of Assam. They told them they have a group.
You have 30
a
seconds.
terrorist group called Assam.
You have 30 seconds to land, but please be guided.
Okay.
Let's concentrate on the issue in discussion.
I will be guided. These are our people. For example, somebody allegedly kills someone who came to attack him on his farm. And because he killed in self-defense, the man was sentenced to death. But there is no evidence that those who have come to attack farmers and kill farmers, there is no evidence that they have so committed, sentenced to death. These are some of the issues we have to deal with so that nobody is given any excuse to misunderstand what is clearly a national challenge.
Someone that was sentenced to life imprisonment. So in this one, he said that the politicians, just like in his own class, should stop rigging election. Well, they say talk is cheap. We remember his words when he was the chairman of APC. He said, the beauty of democracy is for you to accept the pen of rigging. And then he now says, sorry, the pen of defeat. So he was the one that brought up that famous statement that for democracy to flourish, we all need to accept the pen of rigging. So he made it known to us that parties or government that's in power always rig themselves, rig elections to retain power.
As elected persons, we as senators shall not, directly or indirectly, secretly or openly, aid and abet unemployed or semi-employed people and arm them to disrupt election. If we reform our character, this problem is 90% solved. In Edo State, sir, I launched 1 man, 1 vote, 1 woman, 1 vote. At the end of the day, and as of today, it is now possible to do election without cutting dead bodies. It wasn't so before, because we convinced everybody that there is no merit in taking election or conducting election as if it is a state of war. The beauty of democracy is not the fact that you find yourself occupying an important elective office. It is the feeling in your heart that people actually, in their free will, found you worthy to be their voice and to entrust our collective patrimony in your hands to manage, to deliver the greatest good to the greatest number. That for me is the beauty. If you achieve it by the aim of, by through rigging or other manipulation, deep in your heart, you know that you are not a happy person. After every election, violent crimes increase because the politicians who have procured weapons for children who are hungry and pay them a little fee, once the election is over, they are not able to retrieve the weapons. And the weapons are then deployed by these people for violence. You can see a strong correlation between the level of criminality, robbery, etc., immediately after the election. Because these people have been abandoned since the results have been given.
Like Senator Neda stated in the motion, it is not only in Ovia. In fact, it will be more correct to say that the entire Edo State is under siege by bandits and by terrorists and by headers. We have terrible pictures of people who have been murdered in cold blood, men and women. In fact, someone's compound has been turned to a graveyard by terrorists and bandits. This is the farming season. It's already raining. Rains have already started in Edo State and I believe in part of southern Nigeria. This is the time our farmers go to farm. And with the level of killings and banditry and kidnapping in Edo State, most of our farmers are now not able to go to the farm.
So all these things he's saying. Let's just give him power and see what he will do. Everyone is complaining about Senator Godswill Akpabio. Just make Oshiomhole Senate president and see if he will follow by all these things he's saying. Most of the times, he's just back to his labor leader behavior. As a labor leader, this man happened to be one of the best labor leaders Nigeria has ever had. So he's just using that same ideology, to run the Senate. But most people are already finding it difficult. We saw what he did to this Senator Ali Ndume of Borno State. So if that he's a governor, the head of a subnational government, so when he speak, those who has never become governor should not speak. So Ali Ndume retaliated. So I just love how vocal this man has been, even when it got to do with Fulani herdsmen. He said that Edo State is under siege by herders, by bandits and all that. So he's the most vocal senator we've seen so far at the House of Senate. Other ones are just, it's as if their mouth is sealed. It's as if they've all been bought. They are, just like the traditional ruler from the Southeast said, they are all sellouts. It's as if they turn blind eye to what is happening. They are forgetting that they won't be in power forever. So all this terrible, terrible thing that is going on, and they are not speaking up. And that's actually why they are at the House of Senate. Bring up this proposal, sponsor a bill, and your colleagues will endorse it, and it will be passed into law. Anything that has to do with the well-being of the people that voted you in, you have to do it. But they are not doing it, thinking that they will be there forever. By the time that power slips off their finger, they will see what they have done to themselves. But for me, within 2 years in office as a senator, or 3 years, let's say 2 years, 3 years, yeah, Adams Oshiomhole has really done wonder. He has done, perfectly well. I mean, he has done excellently. More than high-ranking senators that have been in the House of Senate for like 16 years. I think Ali Ndume have been in the House of Senate maybe like, if I'm not mistaken, more than 20 years. So this man will just come out when he has to do with, Senate committee on interrogating the public office holder like the senator, like the ministers of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, those that Tinubu engaged or employed. He asked them the right questions that needs answers. Just like the one he asked Dave Umahi. You took these jobs from Julius Berger and you gave it to influence a company that is owned by Mikano that deals on electronics, generators and all that. And the company doesn't even have portfolio. The company doesn't have history of carrying out this large-scale construction work. So you gave it to them on what ground? If it's on the ground that Julius Berger charges well, we understand. What about Arab contractors? We have CCE. These ones have been in Nigeria for decades, and they have track record of delivery. So that's cast a big question mark on the Honorable Minister of Works and many others. So I'm going to do another video, the second phase of what the good work Oshiomhole is doing at the House of Senate. My own problem is this: he keeps talking and talking and talking. Just let him get into power. I mean, all these things he's saying now, he won't put it into action. That's the problem with his personality. He could talk, he could debate, he could ask the question that needs to be asked, that all those ones are afraid of to ask. He will ask those questions. But when it gets to him being in power, being in authority, and then to really do the work, he won't do it. That's the decay in our democracy.
You have to have, Your Excellency, you have to have that large hand. Become a senator. Please go ahead. Chairman, you cannot exercise power that you don't have. You don't exercise. Chairman, I want to thank you, Senate leader and my colleagues.